The wind howled across the empty land of Mars Colony 12. Red dust blew like smoke over the rocks and hills. Most people stayed inside during the storms. But not Liam. Liam was not like others. He lived alone in a small house built from old metal parts just beyond the colony fence. He didn't mind the silence. He liked working with machines. Fixing things gave him peace. One evening, while repairing an old drone in his workshop, Liam's radio made a strange noise. Beep, crackle, beep. He paused, wiped his hands, and listened closely. The signal was weak, but it was there. He turned the dial slowly. The sound became a little clearer. Help, anyone, plea, crash, food dying. Liam stood up, heart beating faster. It was a distress signal. Not from the colony, not from Earth. It was something different. He opened his map screen. The signal came from the south, outside the colony's protected zone. That area was marked unsafe, full of strong winds. In deep valleys. Still, Liam didn't hesitate. He packed his tools, some food, and water into a metal bag. He put on his dusty suit and helmet, then stepped outside into the storm. The journey was hard. Red sand slapped against his helmet. The wind pushed him sideways. But Liam kept going, following the signal through the hills and rocks. After 2 hours, he saw something strange between two large stones. A small pod, silver and round, was half buried in the sand. The front was cracked. Wires hung out like broken vines. Liam rushed forward. Inside the pod, lying still, was someone, a woman, but not human. Her skin was light silver, with soft lines glowing faintly along her arms. Her eyes were closed. Her face was calm but pale, almost lifeless. She was wearing a tight suit, torn in some places. Her hands were thin, shaking. Her lips were dry. Liam touched her wrist gently, a weak pulse. She was still alive, but barely. "I've got you," Liam whispered, even though she couldn't hear. He opened the emergency seal on her pod and lifted her out, carefully wrapping her in a thermal blanket. She was light, like a feather. Liam carried her all the way back. When he reached his home, the storm had calmed a little. He brought her inside, placed her on the bed, and checked her breathing. Still shallow, but steady. He opened a bottle of water and pressed it near her lips. Slowly, her mouth moved. She drank, just a little. Enough. Liam gave her a few spoonfuls of soft food. Her body shook, but she swallowed. Then, he sat near her, watching, wondering who she was. Where had she come from? Why was she alone? He didn't sleep that night. He stayed beside her, adjusting the heater, cleaning her wounds, making sure she stayed warm. The next morning, her eyes opened. Liam froze. Her eyes were bright violet, glowing softly. They looked around the room, then stopped on him. She tried to sit up, but he raised his hand. "Easy. You're safe," he said, voice calm. She blinked. Her mouth moved, but no words came out. Liam grabbed his old translator device from the drawer and activated it. "Can you understand me?" he asked. She looked at the device, then nodded slowly. "I understand little." Her voice came through, broken but clear. "What's your name?" She paused, then spoke softly. "Mira." "I'm Liam." Mira's eyes filled with tears. She tried to speak again, but her voice cracked. Instead, she placed her hand on her chest, then pointed at him. Then she folded her hands together. Liam understood. She was saying thank you. He helped her sit up, gave her more food, and let her rest against soft pillows. Every time she looked around, her eyes seemed amazed by the smallest things: the light bulb, the steam from a cup, the soft hum of the heater. "Food, good," Mira said slowly. Smiling faintly, Liam chuckled. "It's just mashed roots and soup, but I'm glad you like it." He showed her the small greenhouse next to his kitchen. Inside, a few plants grew under blue lights. "Home," Liam said simply. Mira nodded, repeating, "Home." That evening, Liam sat by the window, looking at the stars. Mira sat nearby, wrapped in a warm blanket, staring outside with wonder. She pointed at the sky. "My home, gone." Liam didn't ask for more. He could see the pain in her eyes. You're not alone now, he said quietly. Mira looked at him, a soft, grateful look, then closed her eyes. She slept peacefully that night, for the first time in who knows how long. Liam watched over her. Knowing that his quiet life had changed, he didn't mind, not at all. Mira woke up slowly the next morning. The soft light from Liam's solar lamp touched her silver skin. She blinked and turned her head. The room was quiet and warm. She was still on the soft bed, wrapped in a blanket. Across the room, Liam was pouring hot water into 2 cups. The steam rose, and a nice smell filled the air. Mira sat up with effort. Her body still felt weak, but she could move now. Liam turned and smiled. Morning, you look better. She nodded, then pointed at the cup. Hot, yes, he said, walking over. He handed her a cup carefully. It's tea. Plants from Earth. Mira took it slowly and sniffed it. Then she sipped, her eyes lit up in surprise. Good, she whispered. Liam sat down across from her, resting his cup on the small table. Do you remember what happened? Mira took a deep breath. Her voice was slow and soft. Ship broken, running from war. No fuel, no food. She looked down at her hands. Liam didn't push her to say more. He could see the sadness in her face. I found your pod near Stone Valley. You were almost gone, he said gently. Mira looked at him with deep violet eyes. You saved me, Liam shrugged. Couldn't just leave you there? Mira smiled. It was small, but full of meaning. Over the next few days, Mira stayed in Liam's home. Her strength returned little by little. She walked slowly around the rooms, sometimes touching objects she didn't recognize. She was curious about everything, the cooking tools, the heater, even the broken robots in the corner. One morning, Liam was fixing a power wire on the roof. Mira came outside and stood near the steps, watching. Hot up there, she said. Liam smiled. Very. Mira shaded her eyes and looked at the sky. Your sun, yellow. Mine was blue. He looked down at her. You miss it, she nodded. Yes, but here, sky is still beautiful. Later that day, Liam showed her the small greenhouse. It was full of low plants growing under special lights. I use these for food, he explained. Mars doesn't give much, but these stay alive. Mira touched the leaf of one plant. Life always finds way. Liam looked at her. You know about plants, she smiled. My people were healers. Plants were part of our life. From that day, Mira helped in the greenhouse. She trimmed dead leaves, moved soil, and whispered in a soft voice as she worked. Liam didn't understand her words, but the plants seemed to grow faster when she spoke. One evening, while sitting outside, Liam turned on the translator again. Can I ask something? He said. Mira nodded. Why were you alone? She was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke slowly. My world was peaceful, but others came. They wanted our energy. We didn't fight. We ran. Her eyes were wet now. I lost my family. My ship escaped, but broke. I thought I would die in that pod. Liam felt something heavy in his chest. He didn't know what to say, so he placed his hand gently over hers. You're safe now. She looked at him with soft eyes. Because of you. The days passed, and Liam noticed something strange. He was smiling more. His house, once silent and lonely, now had soft footsteps, gentle laughter, and quiet singing in a language he didn't know. Mira began learning Earth words slowly. She liked saying new things and laughed when she got them wrong. Bread, she said one day. Holding a piece, close, Liam chuckled. That's toast, toast, she repeated, nodding proudly. In return, she taught him words from her language. He couldn't speak them well, but she didn't mind. Every small effort made her smile. One evening, the sky turned orange. A soft wind moved across the land. Liam and Mira sat outside, drinking tea. You know, Liam said, I never had a guest here before. Mira looked surprised. Why? I like being alone, he said. But it was quiet, too quiet. She looked at him for a moment. You are kind. He looked at her. You are strong. Mira looked down. I didn't feel strong. I felt lost. You're not lost now, he said. She looked up at the stars. I think I was meant to find you. Liam didn't reply, but inside, something warm spread through his chest. He didn't know if it was fate, chance, or something else. He only knew one thing since Mira arrived. His life had changed, and he didn't want it to go back to the way it was. That night, as Liam cleaned the kitchen, Mira stood near the window, watching the stars. She turned and spoke softly. If I asked to stay, would that be bad? Liam paused. No, he said. It would be good. She smiled, bright, pure, thankful. Then she whispered, I will help. I will stay. And for the first time, Mars didn't feel cold. Not to either of them. Every morning, a soft light passed through the thin windows of Liam's home. Mars didn't have birds or the smell of trees like Earth, but something had changed. The house no longer felt empty. It felt alive. Mira had now stayed with Liam for 10 days. She moved more freely now, walking with light steps and helping with small things. She smiled often and liked to hum soft tunes while working in the greenhouse. Liam didn't understand her songs, but he liked listening. One morning, Liam was fixing an old robot arm in his workshop. Mira stood nearby, watching closely. Broken? She asked. Yes, Liam said. The joint is stuck. This arm used to lift boxes. Mira walked over him, bent down, and opened a small panel on the robot. Her fingers moved quickly, faster than Liam expected. Within seconds, the joint turned and clicked back into place. Liam blinked in surprise. How did you do that? Mira smiled. My people made machines with care. I watched my father fix things. Like this? Liam gave a soft laugh. You're better at this than I am. Mira looked proud. We both fix things. You fix me. They looked at each other for a moment. There was something quiet but powerful in that exchange. Later that day, they walked out beyond the greenhouse. Mira had asked to see the land further out. Liam agreed but warned her. Stay close. Outside the colony's safe zone. Storms come fast. Mira wore a simple brown coat and gloves Liam gave her. The coat was too big, but she liked it. They walked up a small hill where Liam sometimes sat at night. From there, they could see the red land stretch far, with stones, hills, and the soft wind brushing the dust across the ground. It's quiet, Mira said. Too quiet for some people, Liam replied. She looked up at the soft orange sky. Not for me. They sat together, enjoying the peace. Mira drew small shapes in the sand with her finger, glowing marks from her language. Liam looked at them, curious. What do they mean? This one, she said, pointing, means peace. This, she added, drawing another, means light. She paused and then wrote one more. This means home. Liam smiled. You miss your home. Mira looked at the sign for a long time, then wiped it away with her hand. No, I think I've found a new one. That evening, Liam showed Mira how to cook simple food. They made soft bread using Martian root flour and heated soup from dried herbs. Mira liked adding different spices and tasted everything with care. When she ate, she closed her eyes like each bite was something special. You really like food. Liam joked. Mira nodded. On my ship, we had dry blocks. No taste, no warmth. This, she touched the bowl gently. This is life. They laughed together as the small kitchen filled with warmth and light. The next day, while cleaning the outside solar panels, Liam slipped and scraped his arm. It was a small wound, but it bled a little. Mira rushed over and gently held his arm. You're hurt, she said, her voice filled with worry. It's just a scratch, Liam replied. Happens all the time. Mira placed her hands over the wound. Her fingers glowed faintly. Liam felt a soft warmth. The bleeding stopped. He looked at her, amazed. What did you do? She smiled gently. Just a little healing energy. I'm not a full healer like my mother, but I can help small wounds. Liam shook his head in wonder. That's amazing. Mira looked serious for a moment. You saved me when I was almost gone. I will always protect you too. Those words stayed in Liam's heart long after. That night, after dinner, Liam took out a small wooden box from a shelf. Inside were old pictures, his family, Earth, The spaceport where he once worked. Mira looked through them quietly. She paused at a photo of a young girl with short hair. Who is she? Mira asked. My sister. Liam replied. She's back on Earth. We haven't talked in years. Why not? Liam sighed. I chose to come to Mars. I wanted peace. She wanted me to stay. I didn't listen. Mira touched the photo. Maybe one day you will talk again. Maybe, Liam said, but his voice was unsure. Mira placed the photo back carefully. Even if family is far, their light stays in your heart. Liam looked at her, touched by her words. The next few days passed peacefully. Mira added her own touch to the home, small drawings on the wall, soft glowing stones from her ship, and tiny bells made from scrap metal that sang softly in the wind. Liam didn't mind. In fact, he liked it. The house felt warmer. Every evening, they sat outside under the stars. Mira would tell small stories in her language, short tales about sky creatures, crystal rivers, and floating cities. Liam didn't understand every word, but her voice made them real. When she finished one story, Liam asked, Do you think others like you are still out there? Mira looked up. Maybe. I hope they find someone kind, like I did. Liam looked at her for a long moment. Me, too. One morning, as Liam was checking his radio, he noticed something odd, a signal. Not like Mira's. This one was from the colony patrol drones. He narrowed his eyes. The signal showed that a drone had passed nearby, close to his house. He felt a small worry rise in his chest. Mira entered the room just then. Is something wrong? Liam turned off the screen quickly. No, nothing important. But Mira looked at him with knowing eyes. She walked closer. If danger comes, I will leave. No, Liam said quickly. You're not going anywhere. But I don't want them to take you, she whispered. They won't, he said firmly. I won't let them. They stood in silence for a moment. Then Liam reached out and took her hand gently. You're not just a guest anymore, Mira, he said. You're part of this home now. Mira smiled, her eyes soft and full of light. And in that quiet room on a lonely planet, two souls from different worlds found something stronger than fear, trust. The morning sun rose slowly over Mars Colony 12, casting a soft red light across the dusty land. Liam was outside, fixing a broken solar panel on his roof. The work was routine, but today he felt a strange tension in the air. Mira stood nearby, watching quietly. She seemed worried, but said nothing. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoed overhead. Liam looked up. A small drone flew low above his house, its blinking lights scanning the area. Mira's eyes widened. They found us. Double quotes. Liam wiped his hands on his pants. The colony security patrol. They don't like unknown aliens here. Mira stepped closer. I will go. No, Liam said firmly. Not now. The drone circled again, then sent a message to the colony. Moments later, Liam's radio crackled with a voice. Liam, this is Mars Colony Security. We have detected an unauthorized life form near your residence. You are ordered to report for inspection immediately. Liam's heart pounded. He turned to Mira. We have to be careful. Mira nodded but looked sad. I do not want to leave. This place, it feels like home. Liam thought for a moment. I will try to talk to them. But if it gets worse, we must hide. That evening, Liam walked into the colony's command center. The room was full of people in uniforms, their faces serious. Captain Ross, a tall man, with a stern look, approached him. Liam, you know the rules. Harboring unknown life forms is against colony law, Ross said. Liam took a deep breath. She is not a threat. She is weak and alone. She needs help. Ross shook his head. Orders. Our orders. We cannot risk safety. But she has done nothing wrong, Liam argued. She saved her life escaping from war. She is not here to harm anyone. Ross looked at Liam carefully. I will report this to the council. For now, you must keep her hidden. Liam nodded. Thank you. Back home, Liam told Mira what had happened. We must be very careful, he said. They might come here. Mira looked down. I will leave if it is better. Liam shook his head. No, you stay. We will find a way. They decided to build a small hidden shelter beneath Liam's house. using old mining tunnels nearby. The work was hard. Liam carried tools and metal plates, while Mira helped clear the way and set up lights. At night, they rested in the main house, planning the next steps. Slowly, the underground room took shape, safe, warm, and hidden from the outside world. Mira smiled for the first time in days. Safe here. Liam smiled back. We will protect you. One afternoon, while working in the shelter, Mira found an old tablet Liam had. She turned it on. The screen lit up with maps and data about the colony and nearby planets. Your world is small, she said softly. Liam laughed. Small, but growing. Mira looked thoughtful. My world was big once. Now, it is gone. She placed her hand on the screen. I want to learn about your people, about your home. Liam nodded. I will teach you everything. Days passed. The colony grew suspicious. Patrols increased near Liam's home. The sky was no longer quiet. One night, Liam and Mira sat in the shelter, listening to the wind outside. I'm scared, Mira admitted. Liam held her hand. So am I, but we are together. That makes us strong. Mira nodded. I trust you. Liam smiled softly. And I trust you. Together, they made a promise. No matter what came, they would face it side by side. The next morning, a drone flew too close and landed near Liam's greenhouse. Liam and Mira watched from a distance. Suddenly, the drone opened a small door and released a scanning beam over the plants and ground. Mira frowned. They look for signs, Liam said quietly. Signs of life. Signs of you. Mira's eyes filled with worry. If they find you, what will happen? Liam looked determined. I will fight to keep you safe. Mira smiled gently. You have already saved me. That is enough. That night, Liam decided to send a message to the colony council. He explained Mira's story, her escape, her kindness, her peaceful nature. He asked for permission to keep her safe. Days later, a reply came. A meeting was scheduled. Liam and Mira prepared. They knew the council might say no, but Liam felt hope. Mira took his hand. Whatever happens, thank you for giving me home. Liam squeezed her hand. You deserve it. As dawn broke, Liam and Mira left the shelter together. Outside, the red light of Mars warmed their faces. Their journey was not over, but now they were ready, together. The underground shelter was quiet but warm. Liam and Mira sat on the floor, their backs against cold metal walls. Soft lights flickered above them. Outside, the red wind blew over the rocky land. But here, they were safe for now. Mira held a small glowing stone in her hand. It pulsed with soft light like a tiny heart. This stone is from my world, she said softly. It carries memories. Liam looked at it closely. Memories? How? Mira smiled sadly. Long ago, my people used these stones to save stories. When the world was safe, we put songs, poems, and history inside. She held it close. When war came, we lost much. These stones are all I have left. Liam listened quietly. He had never heard a story like this. Mira's voice grew stronger as she shared more. My home was full of colors, blue skies, tall trees with shining leaves, rivers of light. We lived in peace, loved music and learning. She paused. But other races wanted our energy. They attacked without reason. My people fought, but many were lost. Tears formed in her eyes. I ran, escaping in my pod. But the journey was long and lonely. Liam reached out, placing a hand over hers. You are safe here. Mira smiled faintly, drawing strength from his words. Liam wanted to share his story too. He took a small device from his bag and turned it on. A hologram floated above, a map of Earth. I was born there, he said. I left for Mars to find peace. Life on Earth was crowded, noisy, and sometimes cruel. He pointed to a bright blue spot. That's my hometown. I miss it sometimes. Mira looked at the glowing map. Your world is beautiful too. Liam nodded. It is. But I like it here now, quiet and simple. Mira looked around the small shelter. You made a home for me. You helped me find hope again. Liam said. Days passed, and they worked together to improve the shelter. Mira used her knowledge to repair old machines Liam had collected. small gadgets that helped with their filters and water recycling. Liam taught her how to use his tools and showed her how plants grew under artificial light. Together, they created a small garden in the underground room, full of green leaves and bright buds. The plants seemed to grow faster with Mira's gentle touch and quiet words. One afternoon, Mira found an old book Liam had. It was full of stories about space exploration and other worlds. She opened it carefully. "These stories are like songs," she said. "They tell of brave people, new friends, and hope." Liam smiled. "Maybe one day, our story will be in a book like this." Mira laughed softly. "I hope so." That night, under the dim lights, Mira drew symbols on the shelter wall. They glowed faintly, like stars. Liam watched her work, fascinated. "What are those?" he asked. "Messages," Mira explained. "For my people, but also for the future." She pointed to one symbol. "This means friend," but another, more complex. "This means home." She looked at Liam with shining eyes. "You gave me both." Liam felt a new feeling growing inside him. Not just friendship, but something deeper. He didn't say it yet. He wasn't sure how. But Mira's presence filled the small home with light and warmth. One evening, Mira looked at the stars outside the shelter window. "Do you think others like me still live?" she asked quietly. Liam nodded. "Maybe. The universe is big. Some may be out there, lost or hiding." Mira sighed. "I want to find them someday. But not now." Liam smiled. "Then stay here. We will keep you safe." Suddenly, the shelter's door beeped softly. Liam checked the security screen. A patrol drone was nearby. Mira's face turned serious. "We must be careful," Liam said. Mira nodded. "I trust you." Together, they prepared for whatever might come. But in their hearts, they knew something stronger than fear. Hope. Hope for peace. Hope for home. It was a calm afternoon on Mars, with a soft wind brushing across the rocky ground. Inside the underground shelter, Liam was checking the water recycler while Mira fed the plants in their small garden. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed through the shelter. Liam rushed to the screen. His heart skipped a beat. A ship had landed. Not from Mars colony. It was a different signal. Strange symbols flashed on the scanner. Mira's eyes widened the moment she saw it. "No," she whispered. "That is a hunter ship from my galaxy." Liam turned to her. "Are they following you?" Mira nodded, her face pale. "They track survivors like me, to return us to the old empire." Liam stood still for a moment, then clenched his fists. "They won't take you." She looked at him, with fear in her eyes. "They are stronger than you think. They have machines, scanners, and weapons." Liam looked around the shelter. "Then we need to use what we have and be smarter." The two of them began preparing quickly. First, Liam shut down all the lights and made the greenhouse blend. With the red soil outside, they covered the solar panels and buried the tools. Then, they moved quietly to an old mine shaft nearby, one Liam had used long ago for scrap collecting. It was deep and narrow, perfect for hiding. Inside the shaft, Liam placed small detectors and motion alarms. He handed Mira an old comlink. "If we get separated, press this button," he said. "It'll lead me to you." Mira nodded. Even though she was scared, she stood tall. Hours passed. Then came the sound, a low hum in the sky. Dust blew everywhere as the hunter ship hovered above the land. It landed not far from Liam's home. The ship was black and smooth, with long arms that touched the ground. A door opened, and a tall being stepped out. Their armor glowed dimly, and strange symbols moved across their suits. Liam and Mira watched from behind a rock near the mine entrance. "They don't care who gets hurt," Mira whispered. "They only follow orders." Liam frowned. "Then we'll give them something they don't expect." The hunters walked around, scanning the area with round devices. They paused near the greenhouse, then looked toward the main house. Liam held his breath. He had left the house empty on purpose. A decoy? The hunters entered slowly. While they were inside, Liam tapped a button on his wristband. A soft buzzing started in the wires around the roof. Suddenly, a loud crack. The house's old generator overloaded. The lights inside flashed, then burst. The hunters rushed out quickly. distracted. That gave Liam and Mira enough time to slip into the deeper part of the mine. Inside the mine, Mira activated a small glowing stone and placed it on the wall. It lit the path ahead with soft light. This stone will mask our life signals, she said. They won't find us down here. Liam smiled. Smart move. They waited in silence, listening as the hunters walked closer and closer outside. Then they heard a voice, low and robotic. Energy trail ends here. No signs of life. A long pause. Then the sound of footsteps returning to the ship. Mira leaned against the wall, breathing slowly. I think they're leaving. Liam carefully climbed up the shaft and peeked over the rocks. The ship's doors were closing. One of the hunters placed a round device on the ground, a signal beacon. It flashed once, then stopped. They're leaving a message for others, Liam said. They might come back. Mira came beside him. Then we must send our own message. Liam nodded. He had an idea. He took an old transmitter from his toolkit and connected it to the beacon using his own signal booster. He sent a message out. This land is under Earth protection. Disturbing peaceful life forms will be treated as a hostile act. Mira added her voice too, through the translator. I have found peace. I do not wish to return. I belong here now. The message was sent. The hunters stood silently for a few moments. Then, without a word, they boarded their ship. The engines glowed. Dust blew again, and the ship rose into the sky, higher, higher, and vanished into the red clouds. Mira let out a long breath. They're gone. Liam watched the sky. They'll think twice before coming again. That night, Liam and Mira returned to the shelter. It felt quieter now, still and calm. Mira lit her glowing stones and placed them on the shelf. Their soft light reflected in her eyes. You were brave, Liam said. She smiled. You were smart. They sat down at the table, tired but safe. I thought I had to keep running forever, Mira said. But you showed me I can stop. You're not alone anymore, Liam replied. After dinner, Mira picked up her memory stone again. She placed her hand over it and whispered a few words in her language. Then she looked at Liam. I added a new story to the stone, she said. What story? Liam asked. She smiled warmly. A story about a kind human who saved a stranger and gave her a home. The next morning was quiet. The red sky over Mars glowed softly as sunlight stretched across the hills. The wind had finally calmed, and the land looked peaceful again. Liam stood outside his small house, watching the horizon. He had spent years alone on this planet, but now everything felt different. Everything had changed since Mira came. She stepped outside too, wearing the brown coat he had given her. Her silver skin shimmered in the soft light. Her violet eyes were calm, but there was something behind them, something deep, like a decision, waiting to be spoken. They stood in silence for a while. Then Mira spoke, her voice quiet. Do you think they'll come back? Liam shook his head slowly. Not soon. The message we sent was clear, and if they do come back, we'll be ready again. Mira nodded, but she didn't look at the sky. She was looking at him. I have something to ask, she said. Liam turned toward her. What is it? She stepped closer and placed her hand gently on his arm. Let me stay. Liam blinked. Stay? Mira nodded, her voice full of feeling. I don't want to run anymore. I don't want to hide in space or search for places that don't feel like home. I found home here. With you. Liam looked into her eyes. There was no fear in them now, only hope. You don't have to ask, he said. You're already home. Mira's face lit up with a soft smile. The words she had been holding in her heart were finally spoken, and they were returned with kindness. Over the next few weeks, Liam and Mira worked on making their home better and stronger. They rebuilt the greenhouse, added new panels to gather energy, and cleaned up the underground shelter. Mira painted new symbols on the shelter walls. Peaceful signs, glowing softly in the dark. One large symbol above the doorway meant new life. Liam placed a new radio tower on the roof. But this time, not to call for help, only to send peaceful signals to passing ships, letting the galaxy know that this place was protected and full of peace. One day, a visitor arrived, not a hunter, not a soldier, but a young woman from the colony. She had received Liam's request about Mira's status. Her name was Nara, and she was part of the Earth-Mars Unity Council. She stepped out of her small ship with a kind smile. Liam met her at the gate. "I heard about everything," Nara said. "The signal, the hunter ship, the warning you sent, and Mira." Liam nodded. "She's not a danger. She's part of this land now. She belongs here." Mira stepped forward slowly. Nara looked at her, surprised but not afraid. "You must be Mira." Mira bowed slightly. "Yes, I came here seeking life, and found more than I ever hoped." Nara smiled gently. "The council is discussing new laws. We never planned for situations like this, but maybe it's time we do." She handed Liam a small tablet. "For now, she can register as a peaceful resident, under your care and protection." Liam looked at Mira, and Mira looked back, smiling. "Thank you," Liam said. Nara nodded. "Thank you both. Stories like yours remind us what it means to be human, and more." Then she turned and flew back toward the colony, leaving a small trail of white dust behind. That night, Mira added a new symbol on the garden wall. "What does that one mean?" Liam asked. "It means forever," she replied. Seasons passed. The small home grew into something more, not larger in size, but deeper in feeling. Visitors came sometimes, travelers, researchers, even artists. They heard the story of the silver-skinned woman who had once been lost and the kind man who saved her. They saw the glowing symbols, the healthy plants, and the two figures walking side by side beneath the Martian sky. Mira continued to teach Liam about her world, stories, songs, and science that had almost been forgotten. Liam showed her the ways of his people, kindness, laughter, and hard work. Together, they built something that had no name, but everyone who saw it could feel it. Peace, friendship, home. Years later, a young child stood outside the same house, holding a small light stone. She wore simple clothes and looked up at the sky with bright eyes. Inside, an older Mira sat beside Liam, now with gray in his beard but the same smile on his face. The child called, "Tell me the story again." Liam looked at Mira. She nodded, smiling. Liam stepped outside, picked up the child, and sat with her on the warm stone bench. Long ago, he began, a ship fell from the sky. Inside was someone very special. She was lost, hungry, and scared. The child's eyes grew wide. "What happened?" "She found someone who helped her," Liam said. "Someone who believed in kindness. And then she asked if she could stay," Liam said with a smile. "And he said yes." Mira came outside, sat beside them, and added gently, "And they build a life together that even the stars remember." The child looked up at the sky. "I want to help someone like that too." Liam and Mira looked at each other, hearts full. "You will," they said together. And far above, the stars continued to shine, silent witnesses to a small home on a quiet planet where love had grown stronger than fear, and where one kind choice had changed everything.